Awesome. Set the timer. Cool. And we're in the third and final portion of the episode. Episode 1. We made it.
Yeah. It's gone by quick.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. So third topic, third interest.
We the last one kind of flows into this next one.
Mm-hmm.
We left off talking about feelings, thoughts, and ideas, and life and existence, as we perceive it as humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how the whole thing is just really interesting. You know, and when you talk about the human existence, your existence as an individual on this planet in life, you think of it and you think of you, right? Where we can work off of that. So, because it's not just you. It is you, experiencing it, but there's so many things that are involved, and we did touch up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the main focus of this next one. It's just looking for these connections and these relations, and you can kind of say like, oh yeah, this is having an effect on this, and like is directly related to this, or not directly related, but still somehow related, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you look for connections, you can recognize the importance of the little things. A lot of times you'll hear people say like, oh, it's the little things that piss me off.
Mm.
And it's true. It's
Mm.
true. If I'm trying to put something together, if I'm trying to build something, there's certain things I expect to give me a little issue. I'll read up on it. I'll do research, talk to this person, try to figure out like, hey, like, have you done this? What do you expect from this? Or like that, whatever. Get some tips.
Mm.
That's my connection with another being. But it's when it's like, oh my God, this thing is not screwing on. Like, this is pissing me off. It's the little things that you can actually see connections with, I think.
And that's your interest? Is the little things in life? Or connections?
Yes and no. It's more so the connections. And things being kind of related with each other. And so, like, you can think of physical things, physical connections. We kind of touched up on, like, cells and tissues, Then you have, like, organs, and then, like, your organ system, and then you have your organism. And that's what you are as a human. That's what you're told. Oh, okay, that's what I am. Okay. I'm just this flesh walking around. Composed of, like, cells and organs and all that good stuff. So that's your physical connection on a small scale that makes up you. What I think is pretty interesting is they say that the single-celled organisms in your digestive tract make up more cells than all of the cells within your body.
Wow, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. So, you think of like, okay, here I am, I'm going through life and this is me. I'm using my brain to think and this and that. But you have a whole, in its own way, an ecosystem in your stomach and digestive tract that, like, are in a symbiotic relationship with you.
Yeah.
That's
crazy,
and
yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And
that's why people take probiotics, right? Is because they're putting more of those.
That's supposed to help them and work with them and like help the good bacteria.
Yeah.
Because the bad bacteria is more of a parasitic relationship.
Yeah.
Where we're more so into the symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
And without these guys, they rely on us. We rely on them.
Yeah.
We're the like
container, right?
Yeah, we're almost like the the biosphere,
Uh-huh.
you know, and they're like all the other little guys that are living in the biosphere,
Yeah.
you know, and they help keep balance, and we help keep balance, and without them we can't digest food.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, oh, here's acid in our stomach, breaking it down, and
Yeah.
it magically goes in our body. Like, no, these living things are eating what we put in.
Yeah.
Then their byproduct is absorbed through our lining and sent into the body.
Our intestinal lining?
Stomach, intestines,
Uh-huh.
colon,
Uh-huh.
all
Yeah,
of that
large
stuff.
and small intestine,
Right.
yeah.
You know, and there's
Interesting.
all these little moving parts that is, oh, this can be utilized by this guy. Okay, transport, this is that goes here, there, whatever. Oh, this is, we have no use for this, pass it along. Oh, we have no use for this, pass it along. Pass it along. We have no use for it, send it out, the colon,
Send it out. Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And sometimes, not so much. Sometimes the bad stuff that you do put in kind of like has some sort of negative effect on you. You know, not everything you put in is good. You know, and your body will work better with you when you give it the good things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they say like, you know, like some people they say like, you know, oh, what should I eat? What's good to eat? What's good for me? You know, everybody's a little different, and you know, family history has something to do with it and all that, but you really kind of have to go back to what. This kind of goes back to what I said before about how when people touch things they go bad. What has man touched the least of? And it just sort of seems that most of the time those things are good for you. A lemon, great for you. You could say another vegetable is most likely good for you. You know.
Trying to think of one that's not like touched too much though, like by GMOs. Like there's certain types of like grapefruit and stuff that are like only came from GMOs. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like,
you know, and then you could say like, well, there's certain things that aren't really that good for you.
yeah,
Like, you know, like you can't just drink water out of the Passaic River
yeah,
and expect it to be good for you. You're gonna get sick on top of whatever other things
Yeah.
that'll give you a problem.
you're gonna have like a short and a long term problem.
Right. Yeah, so like that whole connection with like the physical existence seems to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Are we gonna have a problem?
I don't know if that's still gonna record. We will see.
Okay.
So the
So
main
the
thing is connections. You were
Connections.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they say like your stomach is like the second brain, and it's said that there's
Yeah, I'm good.
there's just as much nerve endings in your stomach and digestive tract as there is in your brain. You know, which I think says a lot. You know,
Yeah.
you hear about the oh, I have butterflies in my stomach. There's
Yeah.
that saying.
Yeah.
My gut feeling isn't right.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's true. Trust your
It's-
gut.
yeah, trust your gut, because like a lot of times it's like it's telling you something.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what we believe is the command center. But
Yeah.
it's like this is something that we can't overlook.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be overlooking.
Yeah, and like I referred to it last segment, like intuition kind of
Yeah.
thing. People
Yeah.
say, you know, think with your heart, or like I think
Yeah.
you know, we know that the
Heartless.
heart is a muscle, but I think what they mean when they're saying think with your heart is like
Yeah.
actually that, believe it or not.
Yeah.
The second
More
like,
so. I would
that's what I
agree.
think so. Like
Yeah.
the gut intuition, the
Yeah.
feeling. They do say intuition, and they talk about here.
Yeah.
And so like when I think heart, I just symbolize it, or I should say, use it as a synonym for this.
Yeah.
For like my gut and my intuition.
Yeah, and in its own way, it kind of like makes sense, because like what I said before, there's more of these organisms that don't share your DNA that live inside of you than all of the cells in your body. So I mean, you kind of should trust them, and you kind of should take care of them, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah,
and then
that's
you
true.
can trust them, and they can trust you.
That's
And it's
true.
kind of like back and forth,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Unless they say like go to White Castle
Right.
3 times this week.
Right. And this kind of relates to these mental connections we can create,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And you can kind of like think of how well are you going to think off of something you eat. Like maybe most people, they won't think like, oh, like if I eat like fast food today, it's not going to bother me.
Mm.
Okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But are you going to really perform optimally,
Mm.
physically and mentally,
Mm.
after eating something that might not necessarily be good for you?
Mm.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And there's tests done that
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And there's like a connection with like your mental connection with your emotional connection then.
Mm.
You know, and so there's
That's a
some
big
sort
one.
of there's like a relation there.
Yeah.
You know. Because like if you're going to eat something bad, then you're not going to perform optimally, physically and mentally,
Yeah.
and then it's going to have a negative emotional effect on you, and we're going to snowball here.
Yeah.
This is snowballing.
Yeah.
So you're not going to feel good
Yeah.
because your expectations of what you're doing aren't going to be met.
That's true.
You know, now you're upset.
Yeah.
Aside from what you're experiencing, like you as the being, okay, you're upset now, maybe, or you're not feeling your best,
Yeah.
or what you expect. That's the thing, is like
Yeah.
the expectation.
Yeah.
But inside is like saying, hey, yeah, we're not happy.
Yeah.
It's coming from here
Mm.
in a certain way,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool,
Yeah.
you know? And it's really interesting. And it's almost like simplistic, like, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of stems from that in its own respect.
Yeah. So the topic, the point of interest in this interest is connections, right?
Yes.
So you're saying like
Yeah.
how all this is connected?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting. It is an interesting connection
Right.
between like something that, like you said, doesn't share our DNA and is living within us.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. And
Yeah.
how there's other symbiotic relationships out there in the natural world as well.
Right.
And that's connected because we think we're separate of the natural world,
Mm.
and yet we have a symbiotic relationship happening within us
Yeah.
at all times.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's so easy to identify with just the brain sometimes, though, you know?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
easy.
This is loud.
It's,
Can be very loud.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and
It's so easy. I fall in that trap sometimes, too.
and we think of this as the command center.
Yeah.
But this is our command center too.
Yeah. And we
You
think
know.
of this as I and me,
Yeah.
but we don't think
yeah.
of it as actually just one part of me,
Yeah.
one part of
The
I.
whole system.
Yeah, we're a
you
whole
know?
system.
Yeah. Yeah. And where our gear fits into the whole system.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if these things are running good, our senses are going to run good. If these things are running bad, our senses are going to run bad.
Mm.
And so then we can look at our connection with our direct connection, like me and you right now. How is that connection going to be? How is that interaction going to work? Are we going to work well? We could work really well if we're both doing really good. If
Mm.
we're both in a positive state physically, mentally, emotionally.
Mm. And I had my breakfast today. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Same. You know,
So we're operating
and
all cylinders.
you know what the thing is like it's like you can't just be perfect all the time though.
Yeah.
You know, because like Lexi and I got like a breakfast sandwich like from Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
But like that's like something that we just happen to be doing like every Saturday morning now for like the past month or two or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good, it's enjoyable, and you know, it's just it's my treat,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's like my perception of it, and like I'm not reliant on it, and I really do fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think it tastes great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my body could use it.
Yeah.
You know, and in its own way, it might not be as good as maybe something healthier that might have maybe fruit or vegetables or something like that.
But that's the amazing thing about a body, though, is that like our bodies can say like yeah to fats and yeah to oils and stuff. You know, like we need it.
Sure.
Just you know, if that's like 75% of your diet, then that's when it gets like not no bueno. You know.
Yeah. There's a balance to it. You know, and like I said, like you know, like I said something maybe a week or so ago about being good for the soul.
Yeah.
You know? And like that's something that I think you got to take care of.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
You know.
I never really agreed with like I don't know. I just sometimes I have a perfectionistic mind, and I'm like why treat yourself? It almost seems like that's in my mind. I thought like, well, if you're going, nothing's better than to just keep going.
Yeah.
Like if you're treating yourself or resting, then you're like going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not true.
No.
Why do you think like I thought of this recently? Like, why do you think in like on the way up to Everest there are base camps?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no one like just go.
No,
like
no.
like there's a reason because they are gonna help you get there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So like I think about that, and like when you say a treat, like it's like that's actually just as important as the work. You know, rest is productive.
Yeah, it is.
Just as productive as work.
Yeah. Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, another thing I think we can really focus on is language and like communication and like usage of that, because like that's our whole like system here is we're interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so our observation of that from me to you is important. You know, and like one term you hear people say a lot of nowadays is vibes. Oh, bad vibes. Oh, this is good vibes. Like, it's like, okay, like these vibes, like what is this vibes?
Yeah.
You know, this is something you're not seeing, but it's some sort of interaction, and it's something that you're sensing.
Yeah.
It's
Feeling.
kind of from here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe a little bit from here too.
Yeah.
The whole system.
Yeah.
You're taking on these vibes through what? Our connection, and it's expressed through language. You know. And so like you can kind of see patterns of that.
Yeah.
And what voices are going on in here, and what usage of language and thought is going on in here.
Yeah. That's a big
Dictates
one.
what's going to come out.
Yeah.
And now we've just given life to a positive connection.
Yeah.
Or a negative one.
Yeah.
And we can create that bridge. I could say, this and that about whatever, negative, whatever I'm saying is negative.
Yeah.
And you can, reach out and make that bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the negative connection.
Well, in fact, neighbors do that a lot. They
Sure.
They communicate on negative things. They agree on like, damn, the weather sucks today.
Yeah.
Or like, there's no parking on Tuesdays.
Yeah. But then again, there's like a silver lining to it. It's like, okay, we're bonding over this, but let's not live in that negative spot.
Yeah.
It's like the yin and yang.
Yeah.
You can't have the good all the time without the bad a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to experience some bad.
Yeah.
But nothing's completely one or the other.
Yeah.
And it's good to be open to that vision.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is all connected. You're right, because like
Yeah.
food, conversations,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, the yin and the yang is very interesting because you can find that in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, your relationship to everything.
Yeah.
To yourself, to people, to
Yeah.
communication, to food, to exercising, to productivity at work,
Mm-hmm.
leisure time, all that stuff.
And it's emotion. It's fluid.
Yeah.
We're moving.
Yeah.
We are moving.
Yeah.
Things that are in existence are moving.
Yeah.
Our planet's not just
I was
sitting
gonna say, this
still.
planet's moving.
The sun. We even could say the sun's sitting still. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Our galaxy's sitting still. No, it's not.
Yeah, true.
The universe is sitting still. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be stubborn and be a stick in the mud?
Yeah.
Why are you going to be a stick in the mud? You
Yeah.
gotta flow.
Yeah.
You gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have this storm coming, and then you're gonna have this good day coming,
Yeah.
and you're gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
And it's good to remember that.
That's it. That's good advice. the last segment we got cut off a little bit at the end. The camera ended. It died. So we'll just finish up by saying, is there anything you want to, I don't know, find a way to sum it up, close it out, what we talked about? We had a lot of good topics, so anything you want to sum up with?
I mean, I think I was just ending off with the whole things are in motion and things are constantly moving, and that's part of the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes us as humans we get lost in this zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes it's great. That's great. You know, you get in the zone and you're focused and like you're in it, and that's awesome. That's great. People can do amazing things when they're in that zone. And then there's other times where you're trying to stay in that zone and these forces are coming against you and it's just not opportune, and stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Let it go.
Yeah.
Time to move.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is kind of what happened. We were having a good conversation, and then I didn't realize that the time got ahead of us, and my camera stopped. And that's okay though, because then we're like talking now and wrapping it up, and I think that's good. Because if I was like coming up to you and be like, "No, we can only do like 19 minutes, and we can't like you know," and I'm constantly like looking at you like while you're talking, like I have a watch. I'm like, "Don't forget."
Not good vibes.
No. Yeah. So like, but then again, we talk about a lot of other stuff, so it's good to like focus and then chill, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm happy to do this, man. I'm happy to be a part of this interests. You know, I think interests are a cool thing.
Yeah,
cool thing to talk about. And even if it's something that doesn't interest me necessarily, I like to stay open to what interests others.
Yeah.
Because it'll just maybe create a new interest.
Yeah.
Inside of me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's really cool, and that's a big thing that I'm like really interested in seeing.
Yeah.
With what's to come.
Yes.
Like, I love doing this. I think this is great.
Yeah.
You know, but I think this idea is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. And I was gonna say, the in the future I'm gonna have other people on the show, not just Lance. Maybe he'll be back. But I got a couple other people lined up, and it'll be interesting. Like what you said really hit me, because it was like, that's why I'm doing this. Like I like to talk, and I like to like hear what people are saying. It's almost like the show is very interesting for me because I'm the constant, but I wouldn't call myself the host because I actually want the guests to be the host. As in like they are the ones who are controlling the topics. Right. They are the ones who are kind of like explaining about a certain topic, or maybe not explaining the interest on a certain topic. And I just sit back and learn a little bit and like pepper in with the conversation.
Right.
And it'll be so cool because I'm going to be, what you added to today is not going to be what someone else in the future, next guest will add, and it'll be interesting to see that. Yeah. So, and I'll send you that video too.
Awesome.
Cool. Lance, thanks so much.
Excited.
This is great, man.
Thank you, man.
So, peace.